Hi everyone, this is our last war poetry poem that we're going to be looking at, and I've been saving this one as it's a really one of my favourite ones. This one, so I've been saving this one right at the end. So I hope you like it too. The objectives today are to read a modern war poem. So this one is unlike the others, which were set, obviously in like World War One or around about those times, or even a little bit earlier. This one is a much more modern poem. And then I want you to answer a series of questions so that you can show your ability to understand poetry. So this is kind of like I've got a whole load of questions at the end of this um, lesson that I want you to have a go at now. I think there's about 18 in total. Now, I don't expect you to do all 18 of them. Don't worry about that, but I would like to do at least 10. Okay, but we'll go through those questions when we get to that part of the lesson. Okay, let's read the poem. Okay, the poem is called Poppies. It's by a lady called Jane Weir. 3 days before Armistice Sunday, and poppies had already been placed on individual war graves. Before you left, I pinned one onto your lapel, crimped petals, spasms of paper red, disrupting a blockade of yellow bias binding around your blazer. Sellotape bandaged around my hand, I rounded up as many white cat hairs as I could, smoothed down your shirt's upturned collar, steeled the softening of my face. I wanted to graze my nose across the tip of your nose, play at being Eskimos like we did when you were little. I resisted the impulse to run my fingers through the gelled black thorns of your hair. All my words flattened, rolled, turned into felt. Slowly melting, I was brave as I walked with you to the front door. Threw it open, the world overflowing like a treasure chest. A split second, and you were away, intoxicated. After you'd gone, I went into your bedroom, released a songbird from its cage. Later, a single dove flew from the pear tree, and this is where it has led me. Skirting the churchyard walls, my stomach busy making tucks, darts, pleats, hatless, without a winter coat, or reinforcements of scarf, gloves. On reaching the top of the hill, I traced the inscriptions on the war memorial, leaned against it like a wishbone. The dove pulled freely against the sky, an ornamental stitch. I listened, hoping to hear your playground voice catching on the wind. So there's the poem. If you want to hear it again, read it again, please rewind the video. But if you're ready to move on to the questions, let's keep going. Right. So the aim here is to give you a chance to show your understanding of the poem, to give you a chance to really use your intelligence, your reading skills, your intuition, all those kind of reading elements to deduce and to infer meaning from the poem. I'm going to post these questions at you, and obviously you got to try and deal with them. Okay. Right. So first of all, I'm going to give you a set of 6 questions here to do with stanza 1. Okay. Um, Question 1 is, what is the link between poppies and war? Question 2, what is Armistice Sunday? Question 3, where is the speaker if they know poppies are on war graves? Question 4, what is the speaker thinking about in stanza 1? Question 5, what do the words spasm, disrupting, and blockade mean? So for question 5, I want you to kind of define each of those words. They don't all mean the same thing. They don't have I'm not looking for a combined effect, just 3 individual definitions. And number 6, what is the effect of the alliteration in line 6? Okay, so that's the first set of questions. And I'd like you to do at least 3 of those. Okay, so we're going to pause the video here while you tackle your first set. And when you're ready, press play and move on. Okay, so second stanza, or second chunk of this poem. Question 7. What is the relationship between the speaker and the soldier? Question 8. The speaker wants to touch the soldier in stanza 2, but they don't. What is the effect of this? And 9. What does turned into felt mean? Okay, and I'd like you to do at least 2 of these ones. Okay, pause the video here, and when you're ready, press play and move on. Okay, next chunk. Question 10. What language technique is used in the world overflowing like a treasure chest. Okay, so I don't need to explain the meaning of that. I just want you to label that technique. Number 11. What does the adjective intoxicated suggest about the soldier? So if you know what intoxicated means, you can tackle that question. If you don't, you might as well look it up on the dictionary first and then have a go at it. Question 12. The speaker goes into the soldier's bedroom. They release a songbird from its cage. What does this mean? Now, question 12 and the quote that's in question 12 is a metaphorical quote. There isn't a songbird in the soldier's bedroom. Okay, I want you to work out exactly what that image, that metaphor means. Okay, it's not literal. You need to work out the metaphorical meaning. Number 13. Think about the homophone in the phrase pear tree. Why is this relevant and ironic? Homophone, if you're not sure, is a word which has got the same sound but different spellings and different meanings. And 14. The speaker is outside in the cold without the proper clothing. What does this suggest about them? Okay, so that's the end of that chunk. 5 questions there to choose from. Again, choose 2 or 3 and pause the video while you do that, and then when you're ready, you can move on to the next set. Okay, so the final 4 questions for the last part of the poem. Number 15, how is the wishbone simile relevant to the ideas in the poem? Well, for this, I want you to think about what a wishbone represents, how it's used, what its properties are, and how that kind of combined or individual meanings we associate with the wishbone, how those can be applied to this poem and the people and the relationship and the events in the poem. 16. Explain how the final line affects the reader. So the last line, read the last line and really try and identify how the reader is reacting or responding to that particular final image or idea. 17. I want you to do 17. It's one of the questions that I would think was an essential question here, so please do 17. There is no rhyme in the poem. How is this effective in enhancing the ideas the poet wants to write about? So that's kind of like a review over the whole poem. You might find there might be just one rhyme, but generally there's no rhyme pattern. So basically, how does that, or why does that lack of rhyme, how does that enhance the effect of the poem? How does that link to the ideas that what the poet's writing about? And finally, number 18, again another structural question. So yeah, if you haven't done much of the structural ones, then 18 is an essential. Using punctuation in the middle of lines is called caesura. Okay, that's possibly a new term for you. How does this structural feature enhance the meaning of the poem? So, so think about it. If you just look at the lines here on this particular slide, you can see that the second to last line has got punctuation in the middle of it, kind of breaking that line into little pieces. That technique has been used frequently through this whole poem. So your job here is to explain how that structural feature enhances the meaning of the poem. So guys, here we are at the end of the lesson. This is our review slide. So just tick these off. Yes, we have read a modern war poem, and yes, you have answered a series of questions showing your ability to understand the poetry. What I will do now, once you've uploaded your work, is I will have a look at your answers, and that will give me a kind of an opportunity to give you a grade on your ability to understand poetry. Okay, folks? Any questions, please leave comments in Google Classroom as you would normally, or send me an email. Take care, guys.